With AAA studios failing at making VR games, is this the end of the road for VR? Let's find out. Welcome back, this is Jack. I don't think it is. And let me explain my logic real fast. See, first you got the barriers of entry of actually even getting into VR. Case in point, you have to first probably own a computer for a lot of cases. Then you have to, and it has to be a good computer, so you can't just buy a cheap one. Then you have to buy the games that are VR oriented, games you might not enjoy because they are games you haven't even tested. You might not even like VR. And then you have to drop $300, $400, $1,000 for a console, for a system you can't even use. This is not even talking about having space to actually play. Note that there are some consoles that are now allowing you to lay down and play the games, but I feel that takes away from it. Longer conversation. So this means that you have to go to a store or an arcade that happens to have this stuff for you to play with, or have a friend who happens to own one. This is a high bar of entry for something you may not enjoy. And it's annoying, I was going to say something worse, to try and refund these things. So, what are your options? What can gaming studios do about this? The answer? Make dual VR and not VR games. At least make that a part of your library. A good example is No Man's Sky, Phasmophobia, and The Forest actually have that kind of feature where I can play in VR when my friends are not. And this is not mods. This is not me running mods to do these things. It's built into the system. See, there are some games that you have mods for that allow you to do it, such as Vivecraft, which is you playing Minecraft in VR. But if some more of these games got official support, you found these modders who do this on the regular and hired them to do it with support, with the engine and everything, you could make some very interesting dual-sided games in this regard. And that would encourage people to play the VR games or to get into the VR environment as they see me, for instance, in No Man's Sky, having a lot of fun flying the ship with my own controls instead of, controller or mouse and keyboard. And then as you see what people are enjoying about these games, as you're seeing what people love about these games, you are able to incorporate that into your own games. Now note, a lot of times when big studios try to make these games, they do try to make really big games, or they take a game they already own and then allow you to play it in VR. They're not a VR game, they allow you to play it in VR. And what I mean is the world's barely interactable. Like it's not, I can pick things up, it's I click and it's in my inventory. I'm looking at you, Fallout 4 VR. And even in that example of Fallout 4 VR, there is a mod that actually makes it so much more immersive. This is a mod that makes it more immersive, not some studio execs decided, you know what, let's re-overhaul this. No, this is some fan-made thing. So what this all boils down to is big AAA studios' biggest problem is their own ego. They're not looking to the communities who go out of their way to go, Resident Evil 8 needs a VR mod that's on PC. Let me take care of that. Hey, you know what? It'd be interesting to play Monster Hunter in VR. Let me make that. I'm not joking. These are actual mods that people went out of their way to create. And big AAA studios look at this and go, this is a joke. And this one is what encouraged me to actually make this video. There is a mod where you'll have to play single player that allows you to play World of Warcraft in VR. Turns into kind of like a first-person shooter.
Why are we not funding this?
So in short, no, VR is not dead. And it does have a direction to go, and it's actually a rather interesting direction. It's a lot of indie studios and small studios and B studios, what do you want to call them, who are creating this vision that is going to be gorgeous, and eventually A studios, AA studios, AAA studios will go, this is what we need to do. But they also need to recognize the VR community is still relatively small compared to the PlayStation, PC, or Xbox community, or Switch community. So we'll see how this goes.